Malicious people don't show their true face, they lurk in the shadows, manipulating and ensnaring you in their webs. You may not realize it, but there are dark forces working to manipulate your life in insidious ways. Be aware that those who wish to harm you often hide behind masks of friendship and concern. They don't attack openly, but they undermine your confidence and destroy your peace of mind little by little. This alert is an urgent call for you to recognize the signs that you are dealing with people who appear to be your allies, but who are actually acting for your harm. Imagine a poison slowly seeping into your life, undermining your confidence and clouding your clarity. People who care about you may be isolating you from your true supporters, while others disregard your feelings and unilaterally exploit your loyalty. Empty praise can precede devastating criticism, creating a cycle of hope and disillusionment. You may be trying hard to please, seeking approval, only to be knocked down again. These behaviors are not just hurtful, they are signs of deep, calculated malice. The signs you will see below are more than just the whims of a difficult personality, they are clear indications of extremely negative intentions. Stay with us until the end to unveil each of these signals, as your protection and well-being depend on your ability to identify and ward off these harmful influences. One of the most important signs is gaslighting. This is a form of psychological manipulation where someone distorts reality to make you doubt your own sanity. This behavior is extremely insidious and can have a profound and lasting impact on your mental health. Bad people who gaslight often deny or distort facts, making you question your own memories and perceptions. Identifying this behavior is crucial to maintaining your sanity and protecting yourself from manipulation. One way these people use gaslighting is through constant denial of events or conversations. The manipulator may insist that something you clearly remember never happened or that you were making things up. For example, they might say, "I never said that," or "You're imagining things." This constant denial makes you question the accuracy of your memories and creates a feeling of confusion and insecurity. Over time, you may begin to doubt your own sanity and rely more and more on the manipulator to validate your perception of reality. People who use gaslighting can also create situations where you feel responsible for events or actions that you have no control over. They can distort the facts in such a way that you feel guilty or responsible for things that are clearly not your fault. They might say, "If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have reacted like that," or "You always cause these problems." This creates a cycle of guilt and self-questioning, where you constantly feel responsible for the manipulator's negative behavior. Another malicious signal is the use of selective or distorted information to confuse and disorient you. The manipulator may provide information that contradicts your own experiences or memories, making you question the veracity of your own knowledge. They may present alternative versions of events or introduce facts that are completely false to destabilize your perception of reality. This constant bombardment of conflicting information can be extremely exhausting and make you increasingly doubt your own sanity. Furthermore, people who gaslight often turn to external reinforcement to validate their distortions of reality. They may seek support from others to corroborate their version of events, creating a scenario where you feel isolated and unsupported. For example, the manipulator might say, "Ask anyone, they'll confirm what I'm saying," or "Even so-and-so agrees with me." This triangulation amplifies the feeling of doubt and isolation, making you feel like the perception of everyone around you is aligned against yours. This not only undermines your trust, but also creates a web of misinformation that is difficult to break. Furthermore, people who gaslight often turn to external reinforcement to validate their distortions of reality. They may seek support from others to corroborate their version of events, creating a scenario where you feel isolated and unsupported. For example, the manipulator might say, "Ask anyone, they'll confirm what I'm saying," or "Even so-and-so agrees with me." This triangulation amplifies the feeling of doubt and isolation, making you feel like the perception of everyone around you is aligned against yours. This not only undermines your trust, but also creates a web of misinformation that is difficult to break. One of the most insidious signs of a malicious person is isolation disguised as concern. The person may seem genuinely concerned about your well-being, but in reality, they are using this concern as a tool to alienate you from your support networks. This can start with small comments about how your friends or family are not good to you, suggesting that they have a bad influence or that they don't understand you as well as the manipulator. Slowly, these insinuations can make you start to doubt the people around you, leading to isolation. Bad-intentioned people often create situations where you feel guilty for wanting to spend time with other people. They may imply that you don't value your relationship with them enough or that you are neglecting them when spending time with friends and family. For example, they might say things like, "I only want the best for you, but I think your friends aren't good for you," or "Do you really prefer spending time with them instead of me?" These comments may seem harmless at first, but they are designed to make you feel guilty and start to withdraw from the other important people in your life. Another common tactic is to create fictional conflicts or exaggerate minor disagreements so that you see your friends and family as sources of stress and conflict. The manipulative person may often mention problems that you never noticed, or amplify small disagreements to seem bigger than they really are. By doing this, she increases the stress and tension in your other relationships, making you feel that it is easier and less conflictual to simply cut those ties and rely solely on her for emotional support. The manipulator may also use fabricated events or crises to justify the need to isolate you. They may insist that due to an emergency situation or a personal crisis you need to focus exclusively on them, further withdrawing from your other relationships. This creates a cycle where you become increasingly dependent on them, at the same time that your other relationships weaken and disappear. This emotional and social isolation is one of the most effective methods of ensuring that you feel alone and vulnerable, making you more susceptible to manipulation. Additionally, the manipulator may try to control your activities and time in subtle ways. They may insist that you spend more time at home, or suggest activities that involve just the two of you to the exclusion of anyone else. They may become jealous or possessive when you make plans that don't involve them, creating a feeling of guilt and forcing you to prioritize them above all else. Not only does this limit your social interactions, but it also makes you feel increasingly dependent on their approval and company. To deal with this situation, critically evaluate the reasons behind the person's expressed concern. If you notice that your support network is gradually being reduced and that you are becoming more isolated, this is a clear sign of manipulation. Set clear boundaries about who you spend your time with, and defend your friendships and family relationships. Maintain open communication with friends and family about what's going on to ensure you have an outside perspective. Independence is an admirable quality, but when used as an excuse for neglect and contempt, it becomes a form of manipulation. Bad-tempered people may pretend to support your independence while actually using it as an excuse to disregard your emotional and physical needs. They may avoid responsibility or commitment, insisting that you handle everything yourself. This type of behavior can make you feel like you are demanding too much or that you are weak for needing support. At first, negligence disguised as independence may seem like encouragement. The manipulator may praise your ability to take care of yourself and encourage you to be even more self-reliant. However, when you really need help or support, they disappear or minimize your needs. Notice situations like if you're going through a difficult time and ask for help, they might respond with something like, "You're so strong, you can handle this on your own," or "I believe in you, you don't need anyone." While these words may seem motivating, they actually hide a refusal to provide necessary support. Another thing you may notice is the constant minimization of your needs. If you express that you need emotional or physical support, the manipulator may suggest that you are being needy or irrational. They may say things like, "Are you exaggerating?" or "Everyone deals with this, why can't you?" This behavior makes you doubt your own needs and feel guilty about seeking help. Over time, this can lead to emotional isolation, where you does not feel comfortable expressing their needs or asking for support. Manipulative people may also use the excuse of independence to avoid any type of responsibility in their relationship. They may insist that you must deal with your own issues without their help, while refusing to make any meaningful commitments. This can include not being available in times of need, not offering practical help when asked, and even avoiding important discussions about the relationship. By doing this, they ensure that you feel alone and overwhelmed, increasing your emotional dependence on them. This behavior can lead you to internalize the idea that asking for help is a sign of weakness, and that you should be able to face all challenges alone. This pressure to be self-reliant can be overwhelming, leading to emotional and physical exhaustion. Manipulation is even more effective because you may begin to believe that your expectations of support are unreasonable, becoming increasingly isolated and vulnerable. So don't let anyone make you feel that your emotional or physical needs are irrational or invalid. Clearly communicate your expectations in a healthy relationship and demand reciprocity. Understand that a partner who is genuinely concerned about your independence will also respect and meet your emotional and physical needs. Another sign, the painful idea that you are dealing with a malicious person, is the constant disregard for your feelings. These people often ignore or downplay your emotions, making you feel insignificant or exaggerated. They may respond with indifference when you express your concerns or even mock your feelings, suggesting that you are being irrational or overly sensitive. These people may quickly change the subject when you try to express your emotions, or they may respond with sarcasm and contempt. This behavior not only invalidates your feelings, but it also makes you feel like your emotions are not important. Over time, you may begin to avoid talking about your concerns, believing they won't be taken seriously. This creates a cycle of silence and emotional repression, where your emotional needs are constantly ignored. Another common action is to trivialize your emotions, making it seem like you are being dramatic. Phrases like "it's not that serious" or "you're being too sensitive" are used to minimize their concerns. This continued disregard can lead to decreased self-esteem and constant doubt about the legitimacy of your own emotions. You may begin to question whether your reactions are actually valid or whether you are in fact overreacting. Also pay attention to whether they are diverting attention from their feelings to focus on their own emotions or problems. When you try to express a concern, they quickly change the topic to their own difficulties or feelings, diverting attention from your needs. Not only does this ignore your feelings, but it also creates a dynamic where you feel like your emotions are less important and that you should always prioritize their emotions. Additionally, these people may use emotional disregard as a form of punishment. When you express something they don't want to hear or that goes against their interests, they may react with coldness or indifference, leaving you feeling rejected and ignored. This silent treatment or emotional withdrawal can be extremely hurtful and leave you feeling guilty for expressing your feelings in the first place. Remember that your feelings are valid and deserve to be heard. If the person in question continues to disrespect your feelings, you may need to reconsider the nature of this relationship. Don't allow anyone to diminish your emotions or make you believe that you are wrong for feeling the way you do. Value yourself enough to demand emotional respect in all your relationships. If you feel alone and misunderstood as a chosen one, our ebook is a valuable resource. Find guidance to light your path and understand your unique gifts. Buy now and gain access to our exclusive Discord community where you will find support and understanding. Join us and share your experiences in a welcoming space. Plus, get access to unique and exclusive content. Check out the first comment pinned here on the video. Loyalty is a two-way street, but malicious people often expect unconditional loyalty without offering anything in return. They may demand your complete devotion but fail to support you when you need it most. These unbalanced expectations are used to keep you trapped, creating a false sense of obligation that only benefits the manipulator. Notice if you are constantly being asked for your loyalty, while your own requests for support are ignored or downplayed. These people may make you feel guilty about not being available all the time, but they are never there when you need them. This one-sided loyalty is a clear sign of manipulation and control. The manipulator may use loyalty as currency, demanding your presence and support, but rarely reciprocating. They can create situations where you feel obligated to be available, such as emotional crises or urgent needs that always seem to coincide with your moments of personal need. You may also see these people make empty promises of reciprocity that are never fulfilled. They may promise to be there for you when you need them, but when the time comes, there is always an excuse or an impediment. This creates a dynamic of frustrated hope, where you continue investing in the relationship hoping for a return that never comes. This cycle of unfulfilled promises and frustrated expectations is a powerful tool of emotional manipulation. Bad actors may also use loyalty as a form of control, demanding that you cut ties with other people or situations that may offer support or different perspectives. They may suggest that your loyalty to them should be exclusive, implying that having other relationships or commitments is a betrayal. Not only does this isolate you, it also ensures that your only source of emotional support and validation is the manipulator, increasing their control over you. This behavior can be especially harmful if accompanied by emotional manipulation, where the person makes you feel guilty for prioritizing your own needs or relationships. They may use blame tactics, suggesting that you are selfish or ungrateful for not being available whenever they need you. This cycle of guilt and obligation can be extremely draining and difficult to break, as it is based on deep feelings of responsibility and loyalty. Another sign that dealing with a bad person: destructive praise and criticism. Compliments can be a powerful tool for building trust and strengthening relationships, but when followed by destructive criticism, they become a weapon of emotional manipulation. Bad actors may alternate between praising and criticizing you, creating a cycle of hope and disillusionment that is emotionally exhausting. It keeps you seeking approval, trying to please, but never feeling like you're good enough. This pattern of behavior is an effective way to undermine your self-esteem and increase your emotional dependence on the manipulator. Alternating between praise and criticism creates an emotional roller coaster. At first, compliments may seem genuine and make you feel valued and appreciated. However, these words of encouragement are quickly followed by harsh criticism that questions their abilities, decisions, or character. For example, they may praise your work on a project only to later harshly criticize your approach or results. This cycle creates confusion and insecurity, making you constantly question your own worth and skills. This manipulative technique is particularly effective because the initial compliments create a sense of validation and approval. When subsequent criticism arises, it has an even greater impact, as it breaks the positive expectation created by the praise. You may find yourself in a cycle of trying to regain initial approval, trying harder and harder to please and avoid criticism. This behavior keeps you emotionally dependent on the manipulator, always seeking their approval and validation. The manipulator may also use praise to control their actions and behaviors. They may praise you for behaviors that benefit their interests and harshly criticize any actions that go against your wishes. For example, they may praise your dedication to work when it means less time for your personal activities, but criticize your pursuit of work-life balance. This shapes their actions to align with the manipulator's desires, limiting their freedom and autonomy. Another aspect of this manipulation is the unpredictable nature of the criticism. The manipulator may choose random times to criticize you, creating a constant state of vigilance and anxiety. You never know when the next criticism will come, which adds to your stress and feeling of inadequacy. This unpredictability means you are always on alert, trying to anticipate and avoid any behavior that could trigger a negative response. This can lead to a constant state of emotional tension and psychological exhaustion. Therefore, understand that genuine praise is not followed by attacks on your self-esteem and that constructive criticism is offered with the intention of helping, not hurting. Trust your ability to evaluate your own worth and performance without depending on the approval of others. The key to dealing with emotional manipulation is to stand firm in your perception of yourself and not allow the manipulation to distort your view of your own worth. People with bad intentions often put themselves in the role of victim to avoid responsibility and manipulate your emotions. They blame others for their problems and failures, never taking responsibility for their actions. This behavior can make you feel responsible for their problems, creating a cycle of guilt and obligation that is difficult to break. Recognizing this tactic is essential to protecting your emotional health and remaining firm in your own responsibilities and limits. Victimization can manifest itself in many ways. The manipulative person may constantly relate stories of how they were mistreated by others, creating a narrative where they are always the innocent victim. They may use these stories to gain your sympathy and manipulate your actions, making you feel like you need to compensate for their suffering. They might say, "No one ever understands me," or "I'm always the target of unfair criticism." This can make you feel like you always need to be available to offer emotional support, while the person avoids any responsibility for their own actions. Additionally, malicious people can use guilt as a tool to control their emotions and behaviors. They may make you feel guilty for problems they have caused, suggesting that you are responsible for their suffering. If you try to set a healthy boundary, they may react with anger or sadness, saying things like, "You don't care about me," or "I thought you were my friend." This type of emotional manipulation can be extremely effective in making you feel responsible for their happiness and well-being. Another sign of victimization is the constant evasion of responsibilities. When confronted with their failures or mistakes, these people are quick to deflect blame onto others. They may say that circumstances were against them, or that other people are responsible for their inappropriate behavior. This pattern of blaming others prevents them from taking any responsibility for their actions, creating a dynamic where you feel like you need to fix their problems or deal with the consequences. This behavior may also be accompanied by a pattern of emotional manipulation where the person makes you feel like you must sacrifice your own needs and well-being to take care of them. They may use manufactured or exaggerated crises to demand your attention and support while ignoring their own needs. For example, they may create emergency situations or exaggerate small problems to ensure you are always available and focused on them rather than taking care of yourself. Another sign that you are in the presence of a bad person is unnecessary competition and rivalry. Healthy competition can be motivating and encouraging, but when it becomes a tool of manipulation, it can be extremely harmful. Malicious people can create rivalries where none exist, fostering conflict and insecurity to maintain control. They compete with you in irrelevant areas, trying to diminish your achievements and increase their own importance. This behavior not only undermines your confidence, but also creates a toxic environment of constant comparison and conflict. The manipulator may minimize your achievements while exalting their own, suggesting that you never do enough or that your accomplishments are insignificant. If you get a promotion at work, they might respond with something like, "That's great, but I got a bigger promotion in less time." This type of comment devalues your achievements and creates an environment of unnecessary competition. These people may also foster rivalries with others around you, pitting you against friends, colleagues, or family. They can create gossip or plant seeds of doubt about other people's intentions, leaving you feeling constantly in competition. They may suggest that a coworker is trying to sabotage you or that a friend is jealous of your accomplishments. This not only isolates you socially, but also creates an environment of distrust and conflict. Another sign of unnecessary competition is the need to always be in the spotlight. The manipulator may do anything to make sure their accomplishments are noticed, often at the expense of yours. They may interrupt your conversations to talk about their own achievements or divert attention from you at social events. This behavior not only devalues your accomplishments, but it also creates a dynamic where you feel like you need to compete for attention and validation. These people may also use sabotage tactics to ensure that you never surpass your own achievements. They may offer misleading advice or discourage you from pursuing opportunities that could highlight your skills. For example, they may suggest that a project is too difficult for you or that you are not qualified for a promotion. This subtle sabotage is designed to keep you in an inferior position and ensure that the manipulator always appears more competent and successful. One of the most disturbing tactics of a malicious person is changing behavior in the presence of others. They can be charming and affectionate in public, but critical and controlling in private. This duality creates a distorted reality where you constantly feel insecure and question your own perception. Identifying this change in behavior is crucial to maintaining your emotional sanity and protecting yourself against manipulation. Bad-tempered people often exhibit charming, charismatic behavior in public settings. They can be attentive, complimentary, and seem deeply interested in the well-being of others. However, this behavior changes drastically when they are in private. At home or in more intimate situations, they can become critical, controlling, and even abusive. This contrast creates emotional confusion, making you question the veracity of your own experiences and feelings. This change in behavior can also be used to isolate you and undermine your social support. In public, the manipulator may appear to be a perfect partner or friend, causing others to question any reports of abusive or controlling behavior. They may appear affectionate and attentive, creating a positive image that contrasts sharply with their private behavior. This not only hinders your ability to seek help, but it also leaves you feeling increasingly isolated and misunderstood. Another aspect is the use of charm to manipulate other people in the manipulator's favor. They can be extremely pleasant and persuasive in social situations, gaining the trust and sympathy of friends, family, and colleagues. This superficial charm can be used to deflect attention from problematic behaviors or to create a network of allies who defend the manipulator against any accusations. This creates an environment where you feel like you are constantly fighting the positive public perception of the manipulator, while dealing with the private abuse. Furthermore, the manipulator can use this duality to create doubts about their own sanity. When confronted about your behavior in private, they may deny or minimize your actions, suggesting that you are exaggerating or misinterpreting the situation. They may say things like, "You're exaggerating, I would never do that," or "People wouldn't believe you if you told them." This constant denial and emotional manipulation can make you question your own perception of reality and feel increasingly insecure. Chosen one, you are a shining light in a world often obscured by shadows of manipulation and malice. Recognizing these signs is the first step to protecting your essence and preserving your inner peace. By identifying and moving away from negative influences, you are creating space to grow and flourish in your true essence. Believe in your strength and your ability to transform your reality. You are not alone on this journey. There is a community of chosen ones who share your vision and purpose. Don't forget to check the first pinned comment if you feel alone and misunderstood as a chosen one. In our ebook, find guidance to light your path and understand your unique gifts. Buy now and gain access to our exclusive Discord community where you will find support and understanding. Join us and share your experiences in a welcoming space. Plus, get access to unique and exclusive content. Now, if you liked this video and want to continue receiving content that inspires and empowers, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any new videos on the channel. Also share this video with friends and family who can also benefit from these messages of alert and encouragement. We'd love to hear your experiences and thoughts. Leave a comment below about how you identify and deal with these manipulative situations in your life. If you want to further support our work and help us continue to bring quality content, consider supporting our channel through Buy Me a Coffee. The link is also fixed in the first comment. To learn more about how your light impacts and intimidates the forces of evil, don't miss our video Chosen Ones, 7 Signs that Evil Fears Your Light. Click on the screen and discover the signs that show the power of your presence. You won't want to miss this life-changing revelation. Remember, Chosen One, you are stronger than you know, and your light has the power to transform the world, and that's why some people want to keep you in the shadows. Stay alert, keep your faith, and keep shining brightly.